He did flip the table.
Especially if Ollie beat him or something.
And then you're the one, if we were playing cards, you'd be looking at the other person's hand.
I wouldn't. No, I'd never do that. Anyway, ban's coming in. We can't do the major build-up. We can't do the... I couldn't inflict that. Everyone having to listen.
You couldn't, but it will be Dokkaebi the first one to be removed.
I mean, Dokkaebi's been utilised pretty well. I mean, that again, Logic Bomb, that global ability, knocks people off cameras. We saw the Valkyrie made it through the ban phase last time around, so that could be a feature here. Getting banned that now is going to be that knock, and I'm not really surprised. Look at how big Theme Park is. Not getting banned the way is a very sensible choice getting brought out, and for the defense, get ready for a Mirror/Azami here. No, they're going to stick it out. They are going to...
Did you see how quickly they locked in that Alibi ban? Like, that was... The timer had barely showed up on the screen till it was already doing the quick 3 second
They had that locked in. They were like, no. Alibi gone. And now your jLEs will take their time with this one. And I'd imagine it will be an Azami, and that's a massive shock, I know.
Yeah, so the defensive bans are pretty much the same. The attacking bans, one slight change in there, but it is target banning. You know, you get rid of the Alibi, you're target banning. The Azami ban is just, like, in my opinion, on defense, Azami is one of the most powerful operators we've ever had in Siege.
No, I think is a pretty...
Is. Because you can reconstruct, you can create any room to be, you know, playable. Rooms that were previously unplayable, when Azami is in play, are playable. So, it just makes sense. It really does make sense to get that ban in.
So the throne will be the very first site we go to. Now this is, you would imagine, a defensive freebie. This is a very, very, very good site to defend. It's very strong. It's got one of the highest, well, I believe actually, Drug Lab has the highest defense win rate of all the things. Now it's not played very often.
Yeah, because it's like played once and won once.
Maybe played like twice and won twice.
Yeah.
You know, maybe more ones, but this is still a very strong site. Now, will jLEs commit a massive roam presence? Of course they will.
10 seconds to insert.
They will. Now, this is the map, this is the site on this map in particular that is the most linear site in Siege when it comes to actually taking the objective. Because there's no direct avenues from Hatch apart from Split, which is a death trap if you decide to drop down at the wrong time. If you're Ascend, and I will always say this, Theme Park has the ability to be one of the most attacker-favoured map, and I know you agree with me on it because you said this to me before. This site in particular, if you just say, you know what, we're going to take site very early and ignore the top floor, it becomes incredibly hard to retake.
This site in particular, you can go through steps on this very well. So you get control of the top floor, you set up a flank, and then all of a sudden, right, let's say, perfect world, you get top floor control. You can do vertical. Once you get your vertical set up, you can clear utility off that wall. If you control bathroom, you get that yellow wall open. That yellow wall's open, you win the round. Right, you get the case down. Job's done. It's now up to jLEs to disrupt that flow best as possible. Now they got a lot of roam presence, and that extension in towards break room is very good because it's a difficult position to clear because you'll get control. The entire eastern side of the building, you'll probably get that for free. But when you cross over that boundary line, it gets difficult. And what a long line of sight, but no! Turco caught out by Reikos early. He's not going to be too keen on that one. And that drone and gong is going to not last too much longer. But Quick rotates in and stays alive. But the opening pick for Ascend once again goes in their favour.
Yeah, it's really a gunfight that jLE should have been winning in that situation. Right, Costa was able to put the nail in the coffin on that opening engagement, as that'll be, you know, another one for them. The big thing for Ascend has been their ability to win rounds when they get the opening pick, so jLEs really are boxing with one arm behind their back now. And the thing is, Ascend have wasted no time. You've already sent Iana down to the bottom of Dragon Stairs, and with Mozzie playing over by lockers, this could be a very, very big gunfight, because Mozzie's actually got himself trapped inside lockers now as things stand, as well as having a player playing by gong.
This is huge. I mean, now you just play the patience game. Wait for someone to arrive, and the likelihood is you're going to get a freebie here eventually. Just do you have the patience to do so? But that will be Quick. Gets one of the dead shot, who tries to get aggressive on the player of Quick, and now he'll rotate himself in the maintenance. Regos gets a second one in the round now on the Quick, and that's a good moment draw. Just waiting outside ticket and already knocking the door of sight. As one player, Leonski, has to take a little bit of damage and fall back. The wall's not opened up yet. They have an ace still to work with it, and they'll actually open up throne, so that will make it very uncomfortable for Sam to play around this position. He's rotated himself a little bit close to that main door, tries to hold on for a little bit longer. Second Sam will send out to chew through this as best it can, give himself a better line of sight. That won't give you a vaultable angle though, and this is going to be a very difficult one indeed. You now have no direct avenue from this to walk on in. and you have to take a doorway, and he's going to leave himself very exposed. Sam will reinforce his position with those magnets sent out, and Quick will get one on enemy. This is a very winnable round from jLE. Now, they've made this very good, and that's Selma. The fact is it hasn't made an opening avenue is critical. Cactus gets one on the draw, Leonski gets one on the Riekos. 9 seconds, Gibby, and it's going to be Sam gets one more. It's all down the list, and Sam will find a second one on the Cactus, locks it down. jLE's getting themselves around, and they very needed one as well.
Yeah, and just a miss throw. A miss throw on the Selma charge.
Impact trick.
Yeah. But you gotta feel like that was a missed opportunity for Ascend. For jLE, a little better. I'm not gonna say a lot better. Still a couple of moments inside that round where they definitely could have won, or lost that round, I suppose, but they managed to just hold their spot and get that round win. So, jLE, for the first time in this series, are winning. Can they just keep winning rounds now and manage to pull this back to a third map?
They certainly have that. They looked so good on this against LAN Party Hotel, right? The last game they played in lower bracket was against LAN Party Hotel. On this map, they looked to be very, very strong against them. It was a very dominant performance. So they are clearly a very strong side on theme. Ascend, on paper, structurally, look to be very capable of being able to take them to this map and be able to do well against them. Now we move away from what would be the quote-unquote gimme side for the defense. Now is a real test, and we'll go into daycare. We'll see how Ascend break this down. And the big question is, are they going to go direct? Are they going to try and enter themselves from Cafe? Or will they do a full clear or a split clear? Because you've got a lot of options here. Just the question is how do you deal with whatever jLE is presented? And with no mirror getting brought out, you don't have to worry about those longer lines of sight that can lock down towards bathroom from the top of yellow stairs, for example.
Well, history would tell you that Ascend are probably going to go for that two-sided approach. One player maybe trying to take Cafe, being a bit of a distraction, while the rest of the team usually move in and around from Cache, dropping in through that hatch. That's what you usually see when you come to this side of the map. Now, coming back into the fore a little bit more as players, getting onto that break room rappel and just being an annoyance as well for the defensive side. And, well, Cactus trying to bait. You opened up the window, but you stay on the rappel because he wants to bait a run out and try to get an opener for free.
Don't necessarily think he's baiting for that run out. Might give himself an avenue to get into the site a little bit later on. But yes, he's going to be that split factor. He's going to be trying to act as that pressure relief valve for the rest of the team. As the main push will come on the eastern side, he'll be waiting to pop in and catch whatever stragglers he can or lock off whatever rotates he's available to do so. Turco down below sends up a C4 and it doesn't arrive at all. He done that based off no information realistically. The default camera would have been shot out. That was a toss into the blind a little bit wasteful, but a very impactful bit of utility. And now the kind of push to get control is going to be met by that player behind the shield. That's Sam, and he'll lose his life. That's Leonski, I should say, who loses his life early. Deadshot gets the opening pick, and once again, Ascend find that opening, but last time out, jLE was able to bounce back from this. Will it be a similar story again? But Draw not in a great position. Bit of a rock and a hard place moment.
Yeah, Draw could win this gunfight though, and he does. Gets that one onto enemy. Now he's got a player inside Cache that he needs to deal with, so he's going to swing once. Dips back into cover, but it looks like Ascend are going to leave Deadshot. Chasing the angle. The position has been given up as the drone will provide that information, but with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go, Ascend now have control on this whole side of the map. Cactus will rotate in through office now as well. Peeks in. Doesn't see anybody just yet, but whip it for jLE. It's just a case of turtling down now.
Yeah, they need to sit, be patient, and not give themselves away. They've got all the power positions, and you're forcing realistically Ascend to walk in between nightmare position right now. Not going to be easy. They've got no other relief. They've got everyone from one side of the building now. 40 seconds. Draw might swing wide and try and collect one. The wall blocks his vision, blocks his attempt, and he will just sit. He'll play close to this double door. He will be a problem. But Rikos finds him anyway, and he finds a second now on the Sam. 4 versus 2, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, this round might swing for Ascend's favour. Quick now stuck in break room, and it's triple now for Rikos. Turco falls, and Azox gets one more. Ascend. Think about Clinical. Look at the way they closed that round out. That was absolutely superb.
Ascend are looking a lot more impressive today than they looked in the earlier stages of Challenger League.
I mean, the last time we saw them was against a very angry 10-star.
Yeah.
So
to me, well, it's not even the fact that they played 10-star. It's the fact that they've had that little break to go back and continue working on themselves as a team, because obviously the changes, we keep bringing them up, has a massive impact on the structure of your team. they've had a little bit of time. They've obviously VOD reviewed the way the jLEs are playing, and to me, they're a side that are only going to keep getting stronger. jLEs, on the other hand, we say they've got a never say die attitude. They need to start showing it, because both rounds that have been won in this game so far...
It's only round 3. It's only round 3.
But you got to think of the eye test with it. That first round, Ascend realistically should have won that round as well.
That is true.
So to me, jLEs need to start winning rounds in a more confident fashion, because yes, you could say it doesn't matter who wins the round other than who actually won it. But to me, jLEs, they've not looked very convincing in any of the rounds they've won either.
Right, when jLEs win a round, it's a little bit more scrappy. It's never really a clean cut that was dominant, right? They always pounce on opportunity, right? That's what they do. They're very opportunistic. It's very difficult for them to control a round. I think they're always a little bit scrappy in the way they get it done. But you're right, I would like to see them get a little bit more confidence in these rounds when they win them, because it's a little bit shaky when they do. Turco in a good position as a maintenance now. What will he be able to find though? SMG-11 in hand. No drones detected him yet, and he's got a C4 to work with. This could be really big if he can make it work.
Yeah, but last time a jLEs player had a C4 in this position, they wasted it. They wasted it on Dragon. So Turco was actually repositioned himself to the top of Dragon now too, and he's going to contest on the entry. Now, this is a position that I like, because Turco can fall back from this position without risking his life whatsoever. He can jump over that and vault over there and fall back, or he can continue to peek. And with that mute jammer being in position, it's just very difficult for the jLEs players to get this intel. So
they've got really no accurate source of information right now. They know someone's threatening them. That C4 got ripped, so they're going to be a little bit cautious about it. This is a good time waster. This is what jLEs need to do. Waste time. Waste the entryway. Oh no.
Is that another opener for Ascend?
Do we count that? I mean, I saw that coming, right, from a mile away. And he's going to get caught out now. And this round is a little bit binned off because of that one, right? That's a massive blow to the mental. That's a massive blow to the strategy. You lose 2 players very early. You're in a 5v3, minute 20 left to work with. You got to call a rotation. You're going to walk straight into Turco. He'll get 1. He doesn't even look for a second one, but let's be fair, jLEs have now won this round. This is a 1 round.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how or what just happened, but jLEs are going to win their second round on defense in this map.
Well, Deadshot got a team kill.
Yeah, I have a little sheet where I'm keeping track of the openers. I just wrote a question mark.
Well, no, it's not really a question mark. Turco has now found himself enemy. And my prediction of a 1 round for jLEs, even more accurate now, actually, Gibby.
I'm telling you, you're genius when it comes to the statistics.
Call me Mystic Max, I predict these things, yeah?
Yeah. So, look, that's another round win for jLEs, a 2-1 lead for them, but they got a little bit of a helping hand. Deadshot did take down his own teammate at the start.
I saw from the overhead view, I saw he started pre-firing, and I was like, he's going to do it, and he done it.
The strafe.
You know the feeling, right? Because you normally do walk in front of me.
Yeah.
When we're playing ranked. That's why you're got a point 4.
Because it's you that's just throwing my KD.
I would never do that. You're point 4 from solo queue, right?
I'm not even going to entertain that.
You're not going to entertain that idea, are you?
Entertain that.
Okay.
We all know that solo queuing in ranked Siege is the best way to maintain a sane and healthy mindset.
I can't even keep a straight face. Can't even. So round number four. It is time to go back to Armory and Throne. This is the site where, again, I call like the quote-unquote gimme for the defensive side. jLEs should win this. Shouldn't be that difficult. Ascend got close. The impact trick from Sam and the misthrown Selma was a key factor last time around. And the roam presence was very effective from jLEs. I can see them getting themselves a 3rd round here.
I think you're right.
Okay, something is wrong. You've agreed with a statement I've said.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Who are you?
It's some guy.
Wake up.
Some guy got led into the studio. Don't really know how I got here, but I'm here. So, round 4 is underway. Last time, Ascend did get vertical control pretty quickly on this site, but just the inability to clear Draw from the position and lockers came back to bite them. Draw playing somewhere a little bit different this time as he begins to step out on towards that balcony, looking to find the opener, but he will be found himself as that is a big kill. And had he got that one, it would have made the roam presence very easy for jLEs, but now, having lost that player and Deadshot still being alive with a Jackal, roaming on a map like Theme when a Jackal is in play can be very difficult.
What was the need for that swing? Right, you're winning, right? You're a round up. You're on the gimme site. The last thing you want to do is give away the freest, the softest, the lightest opening pick like that one, and they just done it.
Yeah.
Like, against Ascend, who've been very good when they get that opening pick, and you decide, yep, let me go for it. I mean, I like it. I like when players back themselves. I think playing a little bit more reserved, we've seen how good the time waste on this floor has been. It's infuriating.
The big thing is, though, Ascend haven't really done a lot in the time since they got that pick. jLEs players have still been able to.
Yeah, they don't need to. They can take their time. They can slowly work through and get vertical. There's not a lot they need to rush into here.
So you've got a minute and 30 left. Quick is going to look to retake vertical. He's going to lose it straight away. Turco will trade one back as he finds Rykos, as there is still a roaming presence on the top floor from jLEs. As Turco begins to creep his way up the hall, well, he's going to creep no more as he's going to be put 6 foot under by Deadshot, who puts us on a 4 versus 2. Yellow wall has been opened, and more importantly, it's actually a breach that you can get through, which will definitely help them inside of this round. But it's also going to change the way that jLEs are going to be able to play the site, because so you no longer can safely rotate in front of that pillar. So Split becomes the highway now for those defensive players. It's the main line of traffic. If Ascend can play that hatch, which I assume they will do.
They can't.
Well, they can't. It's Cade Claude. And
I mean, you couldn't just put someone to put pressure on it from... You have 4 players, so you can rotate one all the way around. They've got a lot of options here. Now, they already have time, so they'll rotate one player around, they'll check bathroom. That's actually when the Iona clone Cactus gets one on the Sam. Now, that leaves the Yonsky all alone in 1v4. He's got 30 seconds, and I imagine they'll use that time to drone him out. Once they know exactly where he is, I can't imagine his time on the server is going to be long for it. And they might just predict where he is. He gives away his position, gets one on ASOX. Going to be down to 19 seconds in a 1v3, and he's not going to be able to get one of them more, because that's going to be enemy shuts them down, and Ascend get themselves level 2 rounds apiece between these sides. And jLEs kind of fed themselves a little bit to Ascend there. You know, the opening pick of draw, you know, go for your heroic plays, right? That's all fine and good. But that roam presence just didn't work. They just lost their ones, and when you leave 2 players against 4 on site, you know 2 doesn't go into 4. Quite, well, it does.
it goes in twice.
Okay, right. Yeah, numbers.
You want me to like segue off the
Yes,
topic?
please. Save me from my mathematical ability, please. No, don't stare at me. No, don't
Right.
stare at me.
So we're going to move into round 5, which is an odd number, by the way, Whippet. 5 is an odd number.
That doesn't go in the 2.
Doesn't. There you go. You're getting better.
I'm learning.
You're learning. So it's round 5, and there's 2 more rounds to go on defense for jLEs. The one thing that surprised me is the ability for Ascend to find openers over the course of the series, and not only that, the ability to win rounds on attack. Theme Park, you've heard people say, so you'll say it's a defend-feared map. You look at the way that Theme Park is laid out, you'd argue that it has the possibility, because this is something you always say, it has the possibility to be one of the most attacker-favoured maps in all of Siege.
You have to play very good to do it, though.
Yes.
There is that caveat, right? You have to almost play it worldly.
So you have to play well to win rounds of Siege?
Well, okay, when you put it like that, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've just been gifted a wonderful bit of knowledge from you there. That's true. I didn't know that, actually.
You'd nearly wonder how we're not full-time analysts in Siege when we give you insights like that.
That is incredible. Is that why Wild didn't win?
Because they didn't win enough rounds.
Yeah.
Probably.
Heartbreaker, that is.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker.
So, this is the opportunity now for Ascend to win that 3rd round on attack, which you think is almost the norm now on a lot of these maps. So, that'll give them the buffer of 1 more round on attack then to maybe make it a 4-2 split. But there's still 2 minutes in this round before we'll know what will happen. And looking at the way that jLEs have set up this defense, they're putting a lot of effort into defending bunks. So they want to force Ascend to go for that linear approach all the way through from Cafe. And, well, Leonski nearly gifted them at peeking that angle and almost getting taken down.
Stop peeking, please, please. Right, there's a time and a place, right? And you do not need to peek at these situations. You've been a very good side at wasting time. You know, you have a very good setup for it. Play your setup. You don't need to swing that. You don't need to give away a freebie, because Ascend are the team where you know, sit and be a little bit more reserved against them, and you might have a good chance, because they don't really do well when you get the opening pick. If you can get the first pick and not have it traded, you are in a great position against Ascend. So why swing something a little bit wacky?
It's that itchy feet syndrome that we spoke about maybe a little bit with Unlimited.
I hate it being described like that.
But it's true. So when players can't stand still, sometimes they try to make a play. But look, no harm, no foul this time around, as we've still got a full complement of 10 players inside the server. And it looks like Ascend have just flipped it around and they're going to go for a full approach from this east side towards initiation.
Flores Jones go off, clearing away utility off in the distance. A minute left to work with, just under. And there's going to be that flip rotation. This drone is so in the open, it's going to give perfect information. They know that cross is being watched. They've rotated someone over to Cafe. Now that will be the honour. And has a lot of information to work with here. Finally that drone's taken out, but the rest of the pressure now arriving. Can they get themselves within touching distance? Knocking at the door. They need an opening pick here. And Yana will slowly creep walk in. And this could be huge. He might be able to catch some rotations. And, well, position now caught out and has to worry about fighting from all fronts now. Looks between left and right. Has to pick a fight. But look at the top of your screen. 25 seconds left to work with. And this pick's going to go nasty. Draw gets one, but Deadshot in the distance gets one on the quick. Running out of time now for Ascend to make this execution stick. And there's Turco. A trade, though. Reikos gets it. And now they charge deep inside of sight. Split by that Vulcan cancer. Burning on the ground. And Leonski gets one more for the good. 3 versus 2. 10 seconds. The case yet to go down, and that smoke. He's going to choke out Cactus, but he'll brave it out. He'll swing a wide. That C4 lands. A Deadshot will get one, but only a consolation. jLE's get themselves a third round.
Very big round for jLE's, that one. It really was. And you spoke at the start about just using the clock on defense is what they've done very well in the rounds they won. Well, they did it that time. They used so much time just trying to force the player to take Cafe. The player eventually did move into Cafe, but could do nothing with it. And the thing is, for Ascend, I'd be a little bit disappointed in that round because they had so much information. You had that drone looking down the highway from Yellow Stairs the whole time. Like, that wasn't there late round. That was there from start to finish. So you knew that there was 2 to 3 jLE's players there. There was probably a player inside bunk, which there was. Well, you had a 4 versus 2, essentially, at the other side of the map. But they didn't do anything with it whatsoever.
It's a difficult one, though, because you're left to find yourself in some pretty nasty positions, and they had a guy to worry about as well. Those Vulcans will burn away, and they last for what feels like an eternity. You know, you ever sit there, and you know you're on bank, you're trying to get the diffuser down, you know, because the stack decides that you have, you know, you're the Goga, you've got to go in and plant that, and a Goyo burns. It's like, all right, one Goyo's done. That felt like half an hour. Let me go. Oh, another one. And the round's over.
It's like that 1 hour later. I mean, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah, that's what Goyos are like.
And we saw them used. Wonderful analyst points from us there.
I'm telling you, we're the best analysts in Siege. If you get more rounds than the other team, you will win the map. So, we move on to round 6, the final round on this defensive half from jLE's. Can they get a 4-2 split, or will Ascend bring us into a 3 versus or a 3 half? One thing to note is the fact that Quick will be playing down around Drug, looking to waste as much time as possible from this position.
I got a very quick opening pick.
Yeah, and you'll be impressed. Draw hasn't swung out on balcony this time either.
Let's go! Woo! I'm happy with that one. I mean, jLE's have done very well, like, kind of drawing these rounds out, and Ascend have struggled. Right, Ascend have struggled when they don't get that opening pick. jLE's just don't give them anything for free. And you're on the site, well, you don't need to do anything, really. So I like this a lot from them, and jLE's should mathematically get this, unless they fumble it.
So, those Candelas are going to pop off in the distance as Ascend look to make an entryway into a certain area of the map. Oryx still playing the long angle. This is where Oryx can be very effective, is on the roam game. Turco is on the roam as well, but Deadshot has entered the building and he will be able to scan any footprints that he sees to identify where that roam presence is. So, can Ascend use that to their advantage? But it does seem like with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, they've done a lot of the clearing work already. But map control pretty much non-existent. So,
they've entered themselves in Cash's side, and they've kind of just stopped. So they've walked in, and they know it's clear. They now know they have to worry about bunk, and they've just stopped. Right? It's like they got some glue on their shoes, and they just stood still, and they're waiting. Right? So they're trying to get information right now. But they've wasted quite a lot of time. And on a site like this, where it can be very critical to get your execution rolling in the last couple of moments, they've got a minute now to work with. 10 players still alive in the server, no initial clear. They've not worked on verticals, so they haven't cleared utility off that wall, and they're going to lose, well, nearly lose Deadshot very, very early. Draw, just wishing they only had a little bit more damage, and the wall will now get opened up. Leonski's trick will not be effective, and Quick, or Draw, will get that pick on the Cactus now. And that trick was actually effective, catching the Salmo charge before the sequence could finish, and whoa, what a wonderful shot from Draw. Finds dead shot, and jLE, all you have to do now is ride out that clock, ride out the timer. That nade arrives absolutely perfect, first class delivery, and Descend get 2 back, get themselves level, 3 versus 3, give me 30 seconds. Have they found a way to claw themselves back into this?
Well, it's the tough point now. 20 seconds to go. And looks like they're going to get ready to push in through split. Leonski is on top of the furnace and he's going to find himself one. Sam's going to get another. It's a 1v3 now as it's all down to the last remaining player. Azox in the middle of sight, no case in his hand, so he's going to have to do this with his gun, but with 5 seconds to go, it's going to be a round for jLE, and they take a 4-2 defensive split. And well, they can put a big sigh of relief because it's been a much better performance by jLE so far.
I think this map suits their style way better. And when they play into that, they look to be a very strong side. When they delay, when they stop giving away freebies, Ascent struggle against them. The question now is that side swap. We move on to the defense. This map does lean in favor of the defensive side. Ascent are a strong defensive side as well. They might be able to get this one level and close it out right here, right now. This round, round number 7, to me, this is the real question mark. How do jLE try to execute this map? How do they play their offense? What is their core style going into this one? That's the question mark I want answered, because if they have a good showing here, Map 3 is calling. If Ascend can dictate and control the pace, like what jLE's done in their defense, this could be a long, long 6 rounds, maybe even more.
Yeah, so this is the point now where I always love watching the attacking lineup and how it changes based on the information they get during the round. 2 changes so far, so Thatcher and Thermite. Well, they're actually going to just stick with the Thermite this time around, but tells me with that lineup they have is they're going to play very heavily to try to get the breach. Now, whoop it. Looks like, there we go. I was about to say they delayed a little bit, but eventually they do seal up one of those walls, but tell me, what do you see here on the other side?
Well, I like this a lot. So what they'll do is they'll have an extension now. I hope they don't reinforce both sides of this off and they leave it, yes. So they've now got themselves a rotation in the barrels, which means they have a little bit more freedom. They can play this entirely around this section of control, and that means that's another area that now jLE need to clear and need to worry about, and that's not the easiest position to clear. And the hatch drop as well lets a player on that roam drop back in the barrels, rotate themselves back to the side, and you've got a 1 spare reinforcement as well. So if you do need to patch it up later on, you have that option available. I like that a lot from Ascend.
It just gives you another way of playing the site than the way that we're used to seeing, but it does require very good communication, very good patience, and good decision making to make that work. So, Quick has already got himself inside of lockers as Deadshot will take some damage from that nade. Firing in towards, I think that was Draw. Takes a little bit of damage, but Quick will be able to force the player on yellow stairs back up towards the top. They're actually doing a very good job, jLE, of forcing these Ascend players into unwinnable positions, and Draw will get the opener.
That's a must get pick now. Deadshot falls, jLE get the opening pick, and now they can press the advantage. That's huge. I mean, I critique jLE when they give away soft picks, and now Ascend done a similar story. You lose Deadshot, you lose one of your most influential players, and now you have one less body to try and stack up and hold the line. You've got a strong site. They'll patch up that rotation in the barrel now because the roam presence is not coming back from that position, and now they wait. Now they sit, and they will try their very, very best to play the clock best they can, and just be patient, because you cannot give away another pick, at least another unpicked or unanswered pick.
So, 1 minute to go. What can Ascend do? I like to, I always have the mindset that a minute is a long time in Siege, especially when you're on attack, but when the pressure starts to go, it can feel shorter. Leonski is going to get downed, so it is, as of right now, a 4 versus 4. The only, it's a frost mile with it.
Of course it is. Of course it is. What else would it be? And he is literally in Narnia as well.
Yep.
They can get him. Realistically, they will do that as well. That is seconds lost, though. That is time. He's left on 20 HP. And if he drops in, this could be a problem. And now with 30 seconds left to go. The yellow wall's not yet open.
And they've sealed this one.
So they'll get barrel, they'll get the hatch. So this is what they're going to go. They're going to go for barrel and they're going to go for hatch. They should be able to get hatch. They might have hard breach utility. No, they don't. And Turk will get that nade pick, though, on the enemy. 15 seconds, and jLE Well, they look in a good position. This could fall apart pretty quickly. Rykos, the DMR, could be able to cause an absolute mess of damage, and all the smoke catches as well. 7 seconds. Draw gets one more. Cactus, Rykos get one of their own. 3 seconds. Draw leaves it all down to a 1 versus 1, and time will be the enemy. A second, get round number 7.
Oh, that's a round that jLE surely thought they'd won with about 20 seconds left to go. With a 5v attack, you cannot. You have to make decisions quick. You know, you look at that decision to pick up Leonski. At the end of the round was won because the clock hit 000. The 5 or 6 seconds that it took that player to go and get that res onto Leonski, looking back in hindsight, that would have allowed, was a draw that was pushing him through the door to get him behind throne and potentially win that gunfight.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts. That is Siege. That's why we love it a little bit as well. So we'll move in the round number 8. 1 round is the difference between these two sides now. Ascend. Can you get yourselves level? Or will jLE get themselves back to that 2-round buffer they so desperately want? And the story is going to be, once again, the early stages of these rounds, that's going to be where it's won or lost.
Yep.
This isn't going to come down to big 1, 2, 3 executions where it's going to be all 10 players live. This comes down to what roam clear is better or what roam presence can do. And that's a real question mark about jLE. If they get pressured by a significant roam presence that's well structured and doesn't necessarily give away freebies or soft picks, how can they deal with it? What have you seen?
Right. I'm excited because this is the defense that jLE normally run on this map. You put one mirror looking in towards, you know, the bathroom and towards that side of the map. You put the other mirror on the other side. And jLE, I'd say they're the masters of playing this defense. So if anybody should know how to find the weaknesses in this, it is going to be jLE.
It's still pretty common to play this. It's not like it's the jLE special.
It's something they do. They do it a lot, though.
They love this, though. They do love a little bit of stacking people up on this window. So what they'll do is they'll use the Onski, the Selma charge, and the Ace to open up this position. They'll open up that angle behind the fridge and break room. That gives you a long line of sight all the way down highway. That makes rotations very, very difficult. And that means if you fall off the mirror windows, fall off cache, it's going to be very critical. Now, that mirror window...
It's been shot.
Now, this is the problem. A lot of teams falter here because there's so many ways to deal with that Selma charge, right? You got the position, that rotate that you can have in break room. Turco's now going to try and lock that down. You can have it bandit trick. You have a mute jammer now shuts that down, and well, did he have the resource to deal with it? I don't believe they do, but Sam will get the opening pick on the Cactus, and that could be huge because I talked about this Ascend. When you lose the first player, they begin to feel a little bit weaker, and jLE will be very, very thankful for that opening.
They had 3 players basically playing a break. 1 inside break and 2 on the windows. They're going hard to try and get this wall open, and as of yet, it still looks like they've not quite done it as things get a little bit quiet now on Theme Park.
So Sam doesn't have the impact EMPs available online, right? Has brought flashbangs instead. One EMP opens up and denies that mute jammer, which means you get that wall open, which means the core strategy, what jLE wanted to do, is then available. They have had to relocate the entire decision-making process from this round because of one mute jammer getting placed and one decision to not bring EMPs. So they decided, let's push cache side. And they'll have information of Azox inside a vault, but very quickly, Quick will get rid of them. And that's going to be a lot of map control forfeit early. 50 seconds, Alliance Gang goes out and locks his players in position for a very brief moment. Enemy, though, could have a massive impact deep inside of Dragon, but he has to act quick because now he's only got Rykos alone on site, who has to try and act alone and in bravery. This could be huge, though. These players pop up individually, it could be massive. One pick goes for Enemy. He'll look for a second one, and no. The case goes cold. 30 seconds, jLE. Are you going to let a round slip between your fingers once again?
It's the fact that they've managed to get in behind enemy lines. Quick is going to find Rykos, meaning it's all down to Enemy now. He's holding that pixel angle. There's one. It's a 1 versus 2. 18 seconds. There's a second. He can just bail. He can just get out of here with the time that's left and still manage to win this round. But Turco is going to fight the fight. 10 seconds to go. Sprints. He's making a lot of noise. Enemy can hear him. Enemy's going to get ready to swing at Enemy. Wins the round.
Again! Another round that jLE, you'd imagine they get that shut down. But what an Enemy! What a flank! Rolling back the years. Absolutely rolling them back. What a round! What a round!
Remember we were talking in the last map about Unlimited and their ability or inability to do flank watch. 2 players from Ascend managed to get in behind enemy lines there.
That is 2 massive rounds that we've seen in the series that jLE have kind of thrown away.
Yep.
That was a realistic... They had to get Rykos. You find Rykos early in that engagement, the site's completely clear, and then you're dealing with it. Look at this play from Enemy, right? Gets the case down. Look at this. Look at this. This is insane. Just bang. Gets one player. He had He had one more in his sights and locks it down. Absolutely perfect. That is one of the plays of the competition so far. That not as like this high stakes as Jake's. That was still brilliant. That was absolutely superb. You can probably tell that's got me a little bit animated back here.
I always like to say that the butterfly effect in Siege is huge. Every little tiny decision that happens affects everything from that point on. Lion didn't bring the impact EMPs, and it all ends up with one of the plays of...
He's brought them now, though. He's got them now.
Yeah.
He has them. That's a heartbreaker a little bit. Now, 4 rounds apiece from these two sides. Oh, bit daring, Deadshot. No one's going to walk into that one. You at least hope so. No, but you're right. That butterfly effect, right? The entire strategy that the jLEs like to do is like to have their position open, and it's very heavy from break room. That's what they like, a break room cafe push. That's what they do very regularly. One mute jammer and a lack of a key piece utility, and all of a sudden everything goes a little bit awry, and then they get massive picks, and then they can't close it out. Ascend will be very thankful. Enemy Raikos had a massive shift in that previous round. And setup-wise, once again, very similar story. They'll probably toss an EMP, they'll open up break room, they'll try and get this top floor control very, very early, at least put that pressure on highway. And how will that be an impact, though?
Well, for me now, the real thing is how quickly you can clear the utility. There's the impact EMP, and just like that, Kaid is going to
tricked it. He tricked it.
But not only has he tricked it with, but he's closed up that wall, and Raikos will get the opener. It's a 5 versus 4.
He's tricked that. That mute jammer comes back online.
Yep.
So you can now have that EMP completely free. So that is a huge problem for them. The Lion scan goes out, the opening pick goes out, and we'll just wait for Quick trying to catch a rotation. He'll get one on the Raikos now, shuts him down, locks it out. So back to 4 versus 4. The breach now goes off in the distance, but a minute 30 left to work with, and with that wall, now you've lost 2 Selmas now. That's going to be very difficult to breach. You have to now get that breach absolutely perfect. Oh, no, who was it? Oh, Leonski again.
Twice.
Oh, it's always... Someone always has to do it twice. We get a rise off this time, though.
Yeah, but the problem is Deadshot's going to get a kill on Leonski.
The drone hole. Yep. Oh, no.
Yep. But the problem is there's no real way for jLEs to get a breach in the site now, so you're going to have to go a direct avenue. You have to go through one of those doors, and that will play into the hands of Deadshot, and Deadshot will get the kill on the Turco. It's a 4 versus 2 now, and jLEs need to find a big play, and they need to find that big play quickly. 45 seconds to go, though. It's still a lot of time. But the question is... Oh, my... I was just about to say the question is where do you find the kill, but enemy's just going to get it for him, so it's all down to Sam.
Psychological warfare aspect of now every single vault in, they're terrified. Oh, is it a Frostmite here? We don't know. And the enemy goes, yeah, I'll take that freebie every day of the week. 30 seconds left to go, and it's all Sam alone. And I don't think he's going to be too long for this one. He'll get that C4 claimed away. But it is safe to say 4 versus 1 Ascend should lock this one out.
Oh, no.
Nah. Unfortunately, we caught that one on tape.
15 seconds
so,
to go.
Ascend on the verge now of taking a 5-4 lead in this fixture, but those Frost masks again with it. When you've got the numerical advantage like Ascend had in that scenario, you can use those Frost mats as audio cues, because the players are terrified. They're going to have to shoot down when they jump in, and the minute you hear that first bullet, you swing and go for the kill. So the player vaulting, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't pre-fire it, you get, guess what, chomped. And if you do pre-fire it, they know exactly where you are, and you probably have to worry about the fact the enemy's sitting on the staircase, waiting for you to vault in and look straight at your toes, going, oh, what's this? Oh, I've died now, because the enemy has played perfectly on the stairs. I mean, enemy again was in a little bit of a faraway position on an island by himself, and I had a late round impact there. Again, so I wonder, that's twice now we've seen him a little bit isolated from the core pressure from Ascend. Will we see that again from him? He's rolling back the years just a little bit. Now, Armory and Throne. This is what I've called a couple of times to give me sight for the defense. If Ascend lock this one out, they put themselves on map and series point. Lots of pressure now on this round for jLEs.
If Ascend win this round, it's probably curtains for jLEs.
Oh, that is fighting words from you, Gibby.
Well, it's a case of jLEs would need to find 2 more rounds to force overtime, and it's just not looked like it's been coming in this fixture. Ascend are playing really well, and you keep saying that Enemy is rolling back the years. Well, Enemy and jLEs are 2 players who've been around Challenger League in the past.
Enemy and jLEs.
Or Enemy and Leonski, sorry. I'd love to say it's been a long night, but it's not. It was a quick 2-0 in the last one. And
it was.
It's very quick we find ourselves in this scenario here in map 2 as well.
Well, I mean, we are 10 rounds deep on the second map here. It's not exactly
It doesn't feel like it's been 10 rounds so far, though.
That is true. It's been a pretty good one as well. I mean, I've enjoyed this one. I love Theme Park, actually. It's slowly getting to be one of my favourite maps in the pool. It's probably not a very popular opinion, that one, actually.
It's a fun map to watch, though. It definitely is.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So, 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in round 10 of this one. Ascend looking to move to map point. jLE's looking to level the side. It's at 5 rounds apiece, which would also mean that we will see every single round in regulation. Now, what do jLE's need to do to win this round? Well, you need to clear Jaeger as quickly as possible. Jaeger's going to run, and siege timing allows him to get back down the corridor towards the coffee machine and play this position by Bathroman. Had they just been a second quicker on the draw there, jLE's, that could have been the opening pick.
One thing though, so they thought about catching him and trying to pinch him off from that bathroom rotate. Now, he didn't go that bathroom rotate, but they didn't open up that window until he'd already crossed out. Poor timing there from jLE's, and I see the vision, just a little bit off. And right, that Frostmat on yellow stairs, what you reckon? Who's walking into that one?
Oh, I don't know, but Draw is going to get the opener, and he's going to get
second.
one on the Cactus, and he's going to get a third, as that's a triple from Draw. From that position inside Druglad, that is more like it from jLE's. Is he going to get a quad? No, he's not. Azox will shut him down, but last time it was a 2 versus 4 in the favour of jLE's. Look what Ascend were able to do.
This should be curtain. This should be curtains. This should be 5-5. There is. If jLE's lose this round in this position, it is nearly inconceivable. The enemy in a very rat-like position, just lurking, just waiting, and they're taking the time. jLE's aren't, building off that momentum, and they've not yet barricaded and patched up that rotate inside of barrels yet. A very interesting decision, but under a minute left to work with, 45 seconds, and an enemy in lockers. No one knows he's there. No one has any idea, and they're going to push from yellow. They've got that wall open. If they don't know he's there, this could be huge, and he will just sit. He will wait. He will lurk, and someone is trying to find him. It will be Leonski. He reads into it. He goes hunting and finds a rat. And now, 25 seconds. It's down Azox in a 1 versus 4. Pretty safe to say. It's pretty safe to say it's going to be a 5-5.
You would assume so, but stranger things have happened. There's going to be the double kill, so we're not going to see plant number 4 from jLE's just yet as Leonski begins to put down the diffuser. And, well, no plant number 5. Because that'll be the round 1, but it's 5-5, which means we are guaranteed to see every single round in regulation.
Let's go. I love 12 rounds. I absolutely do love 12 rounds, and this is, I think, a map that's been worthy of it. And that was a very, very, very important round for jLE's to win. And that came down to Draw finding 3. He put himself inside a drug lab and just went, yeah, I'm going to win the round. I'm going to get 3.
But he waited.
Patience is key.
Yeah.
I mean, on a map like this, there are the amount of teams that put a lot of pressure and a lot of commitment on the road, on a massive road presence up. So you just have a little bit of patience. Eventually, they're going to walk into you. A lot of teams at every level don't really like to sit still. So you sit in a position and just wait. You can get absolute benefits. I mean, during the major, the GOAT himself, Liquefac, had a very similar moment inside of Drug Lab on this map where he just sat and waited, and Team Liquid, guess what? Wandered into him.
It just goes to show that sometimes doing nothing is the best thing that you can do in a game of Siege. And what I like about the best players, the very best players, is they've got this sixth sense. Someone straddles their way in front of you, and you think to yourself...
Interesting use of words there. Interesting.
You think to yourself, there's probably another player really close by, so I'm just going to wait and bide my time for that second player to come into view, and I'm going to get a double. And that trigger discipline, that patience, is a very tough thing to learn.
So, I've just noticed one thing. So jLE's clearly know what site they're going to attack this time, right? They've got a Thatcher for it.
Yep.
No risks in play. That's a wise decision because you can have that Kai trick it and then Kai's not available, not getting brought out this time, but a good adaptation from jLE's, and that will guarantee that it'll open up that long line of sight. Now what this means is the mirror window that looks into initiation is essentially already lost, right? That's not a factor anymore because that position, that wall gets opened up, that mirror window gets opened up. So that position already forfeit. Just Leonski will repel on this, Sam will open it up, or help him open up, and they'll go off somewhere else. But they will shut that down and have a crossfire. Or have I completely got that wrong because no one spawned there?
Not yet. They might.
There it is.
They might. Yeah.
Well, there's Sam at least.
So question though, is Leonski going to step in a frost mat?
And it's not there though. It's not on the rappel in.
Yeah, but they're elsewhere.
Where are they?
On Schreikel. This is where we want our observer to find those frost mats for us in this one. As well, there's one on yellow stairs. I'm actually pretty curious to see where the other two have gone.
This is the ultimate test of an observer. Like, how's all the frost mats went? All right, you know what? We'll relieve Schreikel of his
Schreikel,
duties.
you can watch the draw is going to get the opener onto enemy this time around, and well, there's the other. There's the,
Hey, we found
them. Let's go.
One more to go.
No, the two of them are there.
Oh, let's go.
Has been located.
So, open and pick has gone the way of jLEs. We've learned over the course of these games, these two teams, that these sides play very well from the front. Whichever one gets the open and pick more often than not does go ahead to win the round. So, if you're jLEs, build on it. Try clear this play for the because the longer you let Rykos play here, the more difficult it's going to be to open that breach.
And well, guess what? They shut him down. Quick swings wide, gets him. Nearly gets himself traded, does get himself traded, but Cactus doesn't last long either. Draws us in the side of sight, and Turco will get one of his own. Deadshot falls, leaving it in 1 versus 4. And Turco finds that final pick. And guess what? Guess what, Gibby? Map point for jLEs. 1 round away from forcing us all the way to the third map. And showing that they still have a pulse in this one. Ascend now forced to go and fight for overtime. So it will be a long day in the office for them if they want to close this out in a 2-0 fashion.
So, jLEs, this is the opportunity that you want. We said that they've got that never say die attitude, and it would be very like them to win this map in a real tight second map, and then just go all over the top of Ascend in the third map. Now, for Ascend, can you win this round? Can you claw your way back into overtime? Because, reminder to everybody at home, Ascend, they've already won one map. All they got to do is win this map, and they've just progressed and given themselves the opportunity to play against Unlimited.
So here's the debate, right? So Ollie has this theory, you win the second map, you're likely going to go and win the third map. Do you believe that's a similar story in this situation?
You get that feeling. And you look at the map and it's Oregon that's coming up after this if jLEs go on to win this map.
10 seconds remaining.
No.
Was there another point there, Gibby?
Well, I was going to say,
you left me out to dry a little bit.
The last time that we saw jLEs playing in Oregon was against Makers
Attackers must locate.
when they had to play in a 4v5.
Yeah,
And we never really got to see the real jLEs in that map.
that is true.
For Ascend, finding that tape is very difficult.
Okay, it is Oregon though.
Yeah.
Like, Oregon's Oregon at the end of the day.
Most fun map in Siege to watch.
It is. It is. If Oregon comes up in the ranked game, you're like, yeah, I like that. That is a bit of me, that is.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree?
Of course I do. Of course. Our observer has given very strong opinion on the other side to it. I know you guys can't hear him, but Schreikel just says no.
I disagree so strongly. I've never disagreed so strongly. Oregon's the best map in the game.
So, 2 minutes separating jLEs from this and a third map. Ascend looking to just dare us and tease us in towards overtime. But as we've learned time and time again, the open and pick and this matchup between these two sides is of vital importance. And now Mira's going to swing around and Azox will take down Sam. And there's her opener. And then just in the blink of an eye, after getting that pick, Mira will fall into a little bit more of a defensive position. That's job done. And well, Leonski just wasn't in position to get the refrag.
No one they're portrayed. Ascend will take that freebie. Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they need. jLEs, very, very critical. And the fact is, Sam is on the opposite. That's a strat important. That's a strat pivotal operator as well. Austin's brought out for... What a shot. What a shot from Deadshot. Finds Quick, and now already jLEs find themselves in a very difficult position. A C4 sent out, protect the mirror window, but only a fraction of a second late. Shot position open up. Draw gets one. Leonski gets another one. Now we're on a level playing field. 3 versus 3. And Daycare falls. This could be huge. jLEs have an opportunity. And Cactus shuts it down. He looks for a second. Can't find it. But it gets the advantage in terms of player. Minute left to work with. And Turco finds Deadshot. Have they found a way to claw this round and claw this into victory?
This is it. 50 seconds away from a third map, or can Ascend force overtime from this position? Enemy holding a long angle as all of our players will just pause for a moment and breathe. Enemy is going to find one. A pre-fire around the corner from Turco. Can't quite find the Kaid, but he will go prone. Cactus gets the kill, and we are going to overtime in map 2.
Would you have it any other way?
No.
Okay, I was good. That's the right answer.
Yeah,
that's the right answer.
Exactly. So, overtime Whippet and Ascend are going to be on defense.
Okay.
And we've seen 2-4-2 splits. All of the maths will tell you that the favour is a little bit more on the side of Ascend. Not only would you argue that the favour is on their side, they're taking a timeout as well to discuss in depth what they saw from jLE's in those attacking rounds. And see
I like this.
how
I
they come
like
at
this
it.
a lot. So this is a real slowdown moment as well. So that round we got a little bit exciting. jLE's were on the cusp. They were very close to getting themselves on the map number 3. Ascend now get the overtime. They call the tactical timeout. They calm it way down. You're going to bring it down back to base level. You're on the defense. Statistically, you're on the favoured side. You really should play a very smart game here, and I think Ascend will slow this down so much. Do not expect to see a gunfight until like a minute left. That's what they'll do now.
Basically what you're saying is they've iced them. They've put them on ice.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And we always talk about this. When and how you use your timeouts is so important.
Yeah.
And this is a really good time to use it. Now, whether it was a case of, oh yeah, we have a timeout, we'll use it, I don't think so. I think this was a very deliberate decision to do it at this point in time. Now, it's that gimme site, but you keep saying this is the site that should be a dead cert for the defensive side. They're going for that same setup again. Now, we saw this site twice. The time that they won it was the time they were able to get that reinforcement closed in the late game. If you cannot get that wall into barrels closed in the late game, it's very difficult to hold the site from that point on.
So this setup again relies on that roam presence being effective, or at least falling back alive, and not losing a massive amount of map control. The Valkyrie in play this time, so a lot of information is accessible, and there's no Valkyrie, or no IQ from the side of jLE. So we've seen a little bit of IQ so far in Challenger League, pick rate's getting up there a little bit, but without that availability to cancel out or look and find those cameras very effectively, Ascend will have a lot of information, and that means they will have themselves in a good position. A little bit of pressure applied directly in the drug lab. They saw how effective this was earlier when Draw was able to get in and find 3 last time on this site, and that will be a very, very kind of cautious area for the side of Ascend. They knew or know how effective this can be at picking apart their strategy. They put a lot of utility in the holding it and keeping control.
2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Rykos will contest this angle that we've seen him contest time and time again, to mixed and varying degrees of success. Spots Draw. Good night as he is sent into the Shadow Realm in this round with 2 minutes left to go. And, well, as we keep saying, the opening pick usually just translates into a round win.
Especially for the defense. The defense now, realistically, the damage is done. You can play time in this situation. Play trades, play time. The onus isn't on you right now.
Yep, and just a couple of seconds within getting that opening pick, they're just going to fall back and close up that reinforcement. That is this strat played to perfection.
Not only, by the way, have you got the opening pick, which is strategically very effective, you've shut down Draw. 16 and 10. That's not like it's that's a big loss. Like, Draw's actually going huge. Draw's going nuclear on this map, and he's not going to be effective for this very first offensive for jLE, which is a massive of 3 bodies stacked up inside of Split right now. He just gets himself released to sledge your luck and try and find some pressure, and that hatch gets opened up. 1 extra thermic remains, and I imagine that will go for yellow. At least that will be my take of choice. Deadshot will try and fight and contest that. Actually, that angle sees a lot deeper than you think, so tuck yourself in nice and safely behind Throne, and no more contesting, no more peeking for you.
It's Deadshot, though. He's definitely going to peek something else before the end of this round.
Probably still going to win the fight as well.
So he is going to play behind Throne, and there goes that barrels wall now too, as smokes will be thrown to prevent the push. So they want to try to funnel the jLE's players in their time. Cactus playing a long angle behind the shield as verticality is still being created. And I like the way jLE's are trying to create a bottleneck in and around site. So you're playing the vertical here by yellow. The wall hasn't been opened, so you're saying, right, we're going to push through barrels. So players want to play by the bottom of yellow. But with the verticality being played above Whippet, it's very difficult to do so. Now on the drop, Enemy will take down Quick just after Sam took down Azox in a 4 versus 3. Deadshot gets one. Enemy is going to get taken down by Turco, as we're now in a 3 versus 1. And just like that, Ascend win another round. And yeah, Deadshot with 1 HP. Peeked a couple more times. Gets a kill.
Of course. Who else? I mean, that was a flawless execution of how that strategy is meant to play out for Ascend. That worked perfectly. They get the opening pick very early, they fall back, and from that moment there was a lot. Like, when jLe's don't have a way to get that trade and get themselves in that player advantage, and the utility game becomes all about it, and you don't have the tip of the spear, which Straw was, things get a little bit difficult for them. And now, well, Ascend, map and series point. This is it, jLe's, you got to win this round, otherwise you're going home.
When you put it like that, this is where they really need to show that never say die attitude.
This is it. I mean, we talked about the pros and cons of these sides. jLe's, they are a mental warrior side. They can draw them, fight themselves, drag themselves out of these horrible positions. Now, you might be in the most horrible and awful positions. One round. You now need to win this round or your year of grinding is over. A lot of effort went into these sides getting in the CL. A lot of effort. And now, Ascend, win this, you move on. Fight Unlimited in the next round. jLe's, do or die.
Yeah, and Ascend,
10 seconds to go.
they are in the ascendancy, pardon the pun, but it is a 7-6. But here's the thing, by winning the first round in overtime, they've guaranteed themselves 2 match points. 2 of them.
Out to locate a bomb.
I was
jLe's
about
need
to
to
say,
win.
but if you said, oh, they guaranteed themselves at least a point, I was going to start throwing hands.
Why would I say that?
I don't know. Seems like a Gibby thing to say.
Nah. Look, we're going to get back into the game. I am. Your words hurt me sometimes, Whippet.
Don't lie.
So, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. That's what separates Ascend from a date with Unlimited, or separates from a full overtime match point, where jLe's desperately need to win 2 rounds, because as you said, yes, it's do or die, but it's do or die twice. They need to win 2 rounds and then another map to get into that game against Unlimited.
It's not a quick road ahead of them.
No.
You know, if they claw this one back, they still have a whole other map to do. That will certainly be a factor of fatigue to worry about between these two sides. Kaye tricks in play, locking down that yellow wall. One panel of it is exposed, but imagine what they're going to do is circulate what side that claw is on. And the Jackal, inside of Gong, waiting for an information call to pounce on out. Charges and bursts his way in the Dragon, and a fraction of a second late to grab that pick on that player. And Quick gets himself back into sight. Locks it down, nice and easy. Stays alive, will fall back and Ascend. Struggling to get that opening pick, and if they struggle to get this opening pick for much longer, this execution could be very difficult, but they still have a lot of roamers to clear. A lot of opportunity to find that opening.
Quick did really well to get away with his life there, because the intel was there and the players were on the balcony to catch him as he tried to push up, but no, he fell back to sight. Draw's going to get very aggressive now as Deadshot will get right up and close beside the door. The swing comes around the corner and Draw gets the opener. The refrag though is there. Rykos takes him down, so it's a 4 versus 4. Look at the amount of utility that has been put in play by jLe's to keep those walls solid though. You've got Bandit, who's going to be tricking down by the wall. You've got Leonski, who's going to be doing the exact same. And just like that, now the utility move comes in, and there's the Bandit trick Whippet, as that wall is a no entry zone.
There are 4 magnets and a Bandit tricking it, so you are not getting in that wall. And also, well, remind you, there's a Turco upstairs.
5 magnets now.
Turco's also upstairs still. You haven't cleared the roam. This is a problem. You got 40 seconds and you've still got a Legion upstairs who can roam. He'll drop back to sight now. He'll try and fight and scrap and brawl, but he's just in. The drone should spot him out, but he's going to get himself inside a bathroom, and that might just be curtains for this round. We might be going to 15 rounds here, Gibby. jLe's in a good position, 25 seconds, and Turco might swing wide and find one. The case is dropped for the time being, just waiting for that opening. Will jLe's even present themselves with it now? The player in bathroom gives away their position. Turco's now known and compromised. Will they be able to shut him down? I don't think they will. Quick gets 1, Quick gets a second. I think it's curtains. I think round 15 is calling. Yes, it is. Sam shuts it down with jLe's. And we're going all the way. All the way. 15 rounds on theme.
jLe's, how is your mental? You gotta win a round on attack to force us to play on Oregon. For Ascend, can you close it out? It's just one more round between you and that date with Unlimited. So, I'm looking at the grounds we're going to. Initiation, Office, and just the defensive lineup straight off the bat screams to me that it's going to be the exact same as we saw before. That you're going to have the two mirrors in place. You're going to play off-site, but use the mirrors to defend the site. And in the case of the Capcan, you're going to catch out any jLE's players that could be sleeping or unaware of the presence.
It would be an absolute heartbreaker if a Capcan trap knocks out jLE's. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. But this is it. Round 15. Ascend. Do you fight Unlimited tomorrow? Or jLE's? Do you go home? Or do you go to the next map? This is a very well-deserved matchup between these two sides. And you know what? Either result, both teams deserve it right now. This has been a fantastic game of Siege. Back and forth. But we can only get one victor. Someone's got to go. Can Ascend get it done right here, or is Map2 calling our name, Gibby? Any last moment predictions?
I don't want to give a prediction this time.
Ooh.
I'm not going to give a prediction. It all depends on the opening pick, because that's the way this game has went.
Let's go. If I ask you after the opening pick for a prediction, will you give me one?
Yeah. I will. So, let's see what these teams can do. The Capcan traps are being placed, which can catch sleepy players by surprise, and with the extended roam now that we have from Ascend, it is very important that jLE's identify which gunfights to take very early. Look at a Cactus. He's sprinting around the map with the Capcan, making a lot of noise, but at this stage of the round, it doesn't really have that much of an impact. So engagement-wise, where do you see the first fight being fought?
Probably in cash, actually. This is going to be the entry point, and the OSA is really much designed to try and act as a sentry position. Draw gets himself in top dragon very early, and has a very early control. Good setup, good position. Cactus will try and catch him if he dares to walk inside of control. They got a drone, they will know he's there. But Sam, kind of just being that sentry, will lock this down, will not move, will be that ever-present threat. That's what the OSA is very good at doing, will slowly creep forward. And actually, I believe... No, if it was the other way around, he could have placed that shield and actually disabled a Surya gate without any health benefits or disadvantages to him. But minute 30 left to go, with 10 players still remaining, and every single bit of pressure is arriving from one angle. jLE's stacking 5 bodies on the eastern side, and a little bit of damage to the wall done to Sam.
Yeah, Sam took a bit of lead that time, but will still stay in the fight, as Utility will now be thrown down the hall. That clears the shield as Turco will DC, and it's going to be very tough now for jLE's to fight back from that 5 versus 4 scenario. Enemy took a lot of damage. Sam not looking the best when it comes to health either. But with a minute to go, something has got to happen. jLE's now up and need to make a play.
Need to get a pick. They are left without an option. They need to find a pick sooner rather than later. 50 seconds. Quick will try and creep walk his way all the way up inside of bathroom. Looks towards his long angle. Got a player inside of vault though. Could be a problem. 3 bodies inside of control. Everyone stacking up, and that's going to be a massive pick there. And he finds himself a trade though. 4 versus 3. Sam will try and force his way in. Capcan trap destroyed and removed, and now they've got themselves in deep pillar initiation. This could be huge. You need to win that fight though. Leonski on low HP, an enemy gets one on the Sam. This could be a problem, but they get a trade. And no, Rykos gets one more, leaving it all down to 1. Leonski keep his team in it and doesn't manage to get it done. Ascend, close out on round 15, and they send jLE's home.
And well, the dream for Leonski is one he's going to have to wait a little bit longer for, as the CL is not the one, but Ascend, over the course of two maps, played some fantastic Siege, but they really did, and they're very deserving of going through to that next round.
Yeah, that was a great game of Siege. That took all 15 rounds to finally separate these two sides. And the side Ascend are your victors, and the next to face Unlimited in this lower bracket run. But ultimately, it is sad to say farewell to jLE's.
Yeah, they are gone, but not forgotten. But at this point, we're going to throw it back to the desk, and they will give you their say on what happened in that matchup.